warroomsports.com. Get that mobile app.
What's going on, football fans, and welcome to another edition of Field Vision, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports in conjunction with Sports Kings. I'm one of your hosts, Dev, and before I introduce my fellas at the round table, I just want to let you guys know that last week, my co-host Frank down there, he was very, very confident in his Giants, but hey,
talk to him.
All right, so we got Frank of Sports Kings in the building. What's up, Frank?
I would also like to say that I also predicted that they would get trashed because I was so confident in them, but more so I just wanted to say free Todd Gurley. Free the man. Free that man.
All right, and we got Fred Perdue, college football guru, here to talk some NFL.
Always love the NFL. Brady doesn't lose 2 in a row.
I got my partner here from War Room Sports, Jimmy the Blueprint. What's going on?
I just want to say these O's ain't royal. Just know that. Yo, these O's ain't royal. That's all, dog.
They ain't royal. All right, man. After this week, it may pain me as an Eagles fan to say it, and maybe Frank too as a Giants fan, but there's only one thing to say. How about them Cowboys? Let's talk about the Cowboys and their success. They're 5-1. They're riding high. They just went into Seattle, the defending. I don't like that word, defending. The reigning NFL Super Bowl champions, in a place where they don't lose. What was that? Their second loss at home in about the last 15 home games. So let's open up the table. Let's talk about it, man. What is with the Cowboys all of a sudden? What can we attribute this success, this early season success to?
I'll start this one off. The Cowboys finally decided to do what they were supposed to do years ago. Run the football. I mean, it's not rocket science. Run the ball. You have DeMarco Murray. Run the ball. Don't make Tony Romo put it all on his shoulders. They using the formula. It's working.
Have they decided to, or has it just been more effective because now they finally got them hogs? I mean, which one is it?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think there was a plan put in place, and that plan basically starts with getting Jerry Jones to put his ego aside and probably listen to the people, his underlings. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know Jerry Jones is the guy who likes to make the draft picks. He likes to have the sexy picks and the skill position players. But they've concentrated these last 3 drafts into solidifying that offensive line. And, it's the key to their early season success so far. I mean, I don't know if it was just put out there just to keep the whole Jerry aura, going. But we saw around draft time that he really wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, but they ended up going with an offensive lineman to add to the studs that they already had up there. And now look at them.
Not only did they want to draft him, they said they had to tie Jerry up in the back room to
they had to
stop him from putting the ticket in. They had to.
Essentially taking a hurt player.
I just want to say real quick, I just want to give Jerry Jones his props because when they stink and when they make bad picks, we trash him. So now that they're having some success, he has to get accolades as well. So salute to you, Jerry Jones. I hate the Cowboys, by the way, but you got to give credit where credit is due because it does seem to be working. So I can only imagine the kind of young ladies you have in bathroom stalls now that y'all guys are 5-1. Probably doing all kinds of craziness, but salute to you, Jerry.
The 2 things I want to say about this one is how long will DeMarco Murray last, and once he's gone, you can't have shoplifters in your backfield.
Damn.
I mean, he can't steal much more yardage.
Yo, Fred's on shape.
He is looking to steal that starting spot. So I mean,
I just want to shout out the Dallas defense. I think that they're the lost hero in all this. Everybody's going to talk about DeMarco Murray. Romo looks vintage. Romo, extending plays and all that stuff, but. Everybody was joking about this defense before the season started. They might be historically one of the worst of all time once they lost Sean Lee.
I thought that was your words, though. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I was amongst.
I was on that bandwagon too.
I definitely wasn't alone. I thought this defense was going to be just horrific, but they've shown up. The secondary is very impressive. My homie left Drea. Now he's balling. He's doing his thing. So shout out to Orlando Scandrick there. But the defense has been very impressive, getting stops when they need to.
Let me give this a little bit of context. And Frank is absolutely, actually, you're spot on with the very last thing you said. They're getting stops when they need to. If you look at their defense statistically, they're giving up the exact same amount of yardage per play as they did last year. However, they're on the field for 12 less plays per game, and you probably have to give the credit to that, to the offense, for actually running the ball, getting third down conversions, staying on the field, and letting the defense get a little rest. So time of possession for the defense has reduced. Plays per game has reduced. They're giving up the same amount of yardage per play, but the key, because I don't want to just throw shade on the whole situation, you can give up the same amount of yardage, but the point that Frank made, that's the greatest point, is they're getting stops when they have to. And that's what they didn't do last year, no matter how many yards they were giving up. They couldn't stop other teams on third downs. They couldn't stop people when they absolutely had to get a stop.
Saints won the bowl with that kind of defense. The bend don't let the offense light it up.
And I don't want to be, the guy that rains on a parade, but when the only thing I have to say is when you have a schedule like they do, I mean, just looking at their schedule, the only real teams you've really played is Seattle, New Orleans. I'm not really sold on New Orleans, but they haven't really played anyone yet. And then we'll really see how good they are when they actually play some real teams. But at the end of the day, 5-0 is 5-0.
I mean, you can't really.
First off, it's not 5-0.
Or 5-1. I'm sorry, 5-1 is.
All right, Jason Pierre-Paul, come on now.
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Sort of not agree with Fred, but I kind of had a similar point. All that being said, and this might just be me in denial as a Giant fan, I'm still not really afraid of the Cowboys. I don't see them as an elite team, even though they're 5-1 and all this. And I agree that it's been incredibly impressive. But just as a Giant fan facing them next week, I'm not like, oh my God, we got to go against the Cowboys now.
You wasn't scared of the Eagles last week.
I'll talk about that when we do our picks.
You wasn't scared of the Eagles last week either, and y'all got.
That's true. I was not scared. That's a good point. I was not scared.
But Frank, to your point though, I feel the same way, but at the same time, I don't really know if there is any elite teams in the league this year.
I agree. So and this is coming from a Broncos fan. This is coming from a Broncos
team
fan.
that you don't fear might win the Super Bowl this year.
This is coming from a Broncos fan. I agree completely with your assessment, Dev. I was looking at the entire league. I'm like, nobody scares me. Like 2 weeks ago, Cincinnati was like supposed to be the ish, and they look like poop. Like they got a tie with Carolina. Like who really scares you in the entire league? Nobody. I mean, are you afraid of Fred's Patriots? Like
I'm not afraid of my own Patriots.
Donovan McNabb got Carolina like in the top 6 of the league.
Donovan McNabb's power rankings didn't have the Eagles or like Cowboys, and I think it's top 10.
Well,
the Eagles at
8.
Eagles at 8. The Cowboys 13.
Weren't in the top 10, so I don't even know.
He had like 13 or something. I'm like, but he had Carolina higher than as a matter of fact, he had.
They have 2 losses and a tie, and he had
the
like
Colts
the top
higher than the Eagles, and the Eagles already beat the Colts. Like, huh?
My closing point about the Cowboys, and I'm going to use Jimmy's term. All you Tony Romo, Richard Riders, I want to let you know that pass to Terrence Williams, that third down conversion, you do know that pass was to Jason Witten, right? And he just overthrew him, and Terrence Williams just happened. Like you realize that's what happened.
Yeah,
that's amazing stuff.
Listen, man. First off, I want to give a shout out to B. Austin because I actually stole that term from him, the Richard Rider term. That's B. Austin's term. Shout out to B. Austin.
Okay.
He's not here. He's feeding kids in Uganda right now. But sometimes though, what you got to realize is, it's better to be lucky than good. Like I've never seen a team win the bowl without some sort of luck in the course of the season. Not saying they're going to win the bowl. I'm just saying in general.
Absolutely. I was just throwing it out there. That pass was to Jason Witten.
I thought about that, Frank. So I actually looked at that play several times just because of that.
Y'all some NFC East haters, man.
No. I thought about it.
Pointed to Jason Witten. He pointed right at him and he said, "I'm throwing it to you." And then
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go the other way, Jimmy. I just thought about it, but Frank actually thinks still. After I watched it, I still thought it might have been for him. It depends because I have to look again to see if he pointed straight or if he did like this. Because if he did sideways, then that was for him.
The one thing I will say,
I don't want to seem like a hater. I'm off.
The one thing I will say about this Cowboys team is they get to feast on some okay to not so great teams. You get the Giants, whatever, the Redskins, whatever, Jacksonville, whatever, and Arizona. they're okay, but no one's afraid of Arizona.
They're not real.
By the time they play Arizona, they may be 8-1 already.
Shoot, they might be like 10-1 by the time Thanksgiving.
Going forward, right now, you have in order. You have the Giants, the Redskins, then they have Arizona, and then they have Jacksonville. If you can win the next 4, you're 9-1. You're in playoff territory, and at that point, it's all bets are off. So you've already had they've got a steady dose. They needed to beat teams that were bad. You've beaten the Houstons of the world. You've beaten New Orleans isn't all that great. You've beaten Tennessee. You've beaten St. Louis. So you've done what you've had to do. Now the question is, can they finish the job and not finish 8-8?
But you know what, Fred? Like, with you reading that's the point I meant to make earlier when you said that they haven't really played anybody. I was meaning to say when you said that, like, well, it really doesn't get much harder if you look at their schedule. So I actually think they've played, besides, the Giants are always going to play them tough. They'll probably, it's a chance they'll split with the Giants, maybe split with the Eagles. But I think a lot of the competitive teams, even the Rams aren't a good team record-wise, but the Rams are going to compete. So I think they've played, several of the competitive teams left on their schedule.
And when you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler,
Blake Bortles can be great by the time.
What'd you say?
When you have a quarterback like Jay Cutler who throws lots of picks and doesn't look all that great and messes up my prediction for the year, I have no confidence in Jay Cutler.
See how he just jumped ship? You just jumped ship so quick.
Tony Romo like Jay Cutler.
Oh, no comment.
RELAX. You see Aaron Rodgers out there doing what he got to do, though, Fred.
The only real quarterback I see going throughout their schedule the rest of the way, outside of in division, is Andrew Luck, and that's 1 week before the season ends, when they finish the season with Washington. So I really
Luck, the Colts might not even need that game.
The Colts might rest him at that point if they don't, because that division's bad. So we really don't know. The Cowboys kind of got it easy going the rest of the way, and no game in the NFL is easy.
Because of their rivalry, though, Washington will gear up. It'll be their Super Bowl every time they play them.
Exactly.
So don't count Washington out from getting one.
And Philly, if they find a running game, I'm still saying Philly, if they find a running game.
Well, when they
wouldn't be too hard. They got the best running back in the league.
They had one this past week.
Well, not according to Cowboys fans. Now the
I need to see a consistent running game. I need to see that consistency from their running game. I can't to actually say that they're going to be what I thought they would be. They are who I thought. They are who.
They're still 5-1 too. Let's not get it twisted.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they can't live, like we said last week. Philly, and I know this is going off a little bit of the topic, but Philadelphia can't live and die off the special teams.
That's why the show 45 minutes every week.
and who was that?
No, but look, man. Shout out to DeMarco Murray and that offensive line. I mean, he's in Jim Brown territory as far as 100-yard games to start the season. So, we've spoken as much positive stuff as we're going to speak about the Cowboys. I hope all you sensitive Cowboys fans out there,
I'm sick to my stomach.
Because had we said anything else, you'd be bitching and complaining.
I'm sick to my stomach.
You gave your team a 5-minute blunket, and we don't like it. So be
This may never happen again.
How about them Cowboys? All right, man.
You can say that. I won't.
Before we do our games of the week, man, I just want to talk a few minutes about J.J. Watt, man. There's been a lot swirling around. The MVP word getting thrown out there. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to be possible just because Houston, they're going to stink before the end of the season. They kind of stink now. But what's also being thrown out there is J.J. Watt could possibly be the best player in the NFL. What say you, fellas? Let's say you.
Well, I'll say this. I'm very impressed watching him play. I mean, he played on offense. As a defensive end, he's taking picks to the house. He's getting sacks. And the one thing about, like, when you watch him play, you'll see how he disrupts the game without even making anything that you would count as a statistic. Right. That's the signs of a great player, where you can have an effect on a game just by walking on the field. And, the crazy part is I wonder what would have happened if Jadeveon Clowney would have, lived up to Fred's expectations and predictions. Because Fred predicted Jadeveon Clowney to be like the next coming of Lawrence Taylor But he also
the story's not written yet.
no, the story's not written. And no shots, no shade, because he may be that. I'm just saying. I was sitting there thinking like, what if he'd have came in and been half of what Fred predicted? Like their defensive line would it be and could be still crazy.
I was afraid of him. Like I was seeing him on my team's schedule, and he'll be back by the time we play him. Like I didn't want to see those two dudes at the same time. Like I feel like I might call the Eagles and ask if Nick Foles could just take a game off.
Well,
let Matt Barkley get that work.
So for me, J.J. Watt, I just feel like I understand he may be a top 5 player. He may even be the best defensive player in the game right now.
Oh, but
he doesn't truly affect the whole game, and that's where you have your quarterbacks, your corners, when they can go on offense like a Patrick Peterson. Or
basically, I'm asking you a question. You're saying it's impossible for a defensive player, not him. It's impossible for a defensive player to be the best player. It's kind of what you're saying.
In a sense, because when it comes down to it, he can't really score points. It's not up to him.
He can't
got 3 touchdowns.
He can't dictate play to play. He can't dictate play to play how many points to score.
He got more touchdowns than Shady and Megatron right now. I just want you to know that.
Yes, I know. Megatron's on my fantasy team, and I'm
Shady's on mine, so I know.
First
pick. By the way, I spent the first pick on Shady. But anyway, go ahead, Dev.
I'm saying I'm giving Fred a hard time, but I understand what you're saying because I kind of think along those same lines. I actually, B. Austin and I was having this conversation. He said that JJ might be the best player in the league, and I'm like, physically. Possibly, that's possible. But I agree with you, like a good quarterback versus even a very good defensive end.
At worst, you can run away from him.
Impact the game. Like I take J.J. Watt in a race over Peyton Manning, a jumping contest.
I take you
a lift off. Anything athletic, anything physical. I'll take J.J. Watt over most people in the league. But it's just impossible for him to have the same kind of impact. Like he can't go out there and throw 50 touchdowns.
Exactly.
He can't go out there and throw.
A great offense can negate his greatness and I don't take anything away from him. He can bat balls down at the line of scrimmage. He can score whenever those opportunities come. You can run away from him. You can run your scheme away from him.
If we broke this down into semantics, maybe we could say he's the best player, but he's not the biggest impact. He doesn't have the biggest impact.
He may be the best defense. I can honestly say he may be the best defensive player in the league.
I don't think that's maybe. I thought he's been that for the past.
Yeah, he's definitely the best defensive
player. All I want
player.
to say is this: I have seen a defensive player who can affect the entire game, and his name is Lawrence Taylor. Because I saw Lawrence Taylor play, and I remember they played the Colts, a specific game. Like the Colts threw their entire playbook out. Like we can't even use our plays no more. And that's how dominant he was. Like he affected the game all over the place. I mean, some people say he was high or whatever, but LT was that guy. I don't think J.J. Watt is on that level quite yet.
No, not yet.
But he's scary good though. He's scary good. And,
but even
how many years he been in the league though?
Let's see if LT and Dan Marino played on the same team. Like if you lose Dan Marino, you're in a worse position.
Exactly.
That doesn't necessarily make Dan Marino a better player than LT, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. If we go by semantics, like LT, can do everything athletically better than this dude, so he may be a better player.
I mean, I think it's hard to say.
His position doesn't allow him to have that kind of.
I mean,
impact.
it almost is apples to oranges, but I mean, there is another side to it. You can say that J.J. Watt does affect every defensive play because the offense has to double team him every play, and it opens up a whole possibilities for the Houston defense to run all kinds of different things because you have to account for J.J. Watt. The dude gets triple teamed on some plays, so I mean. He's opening up the field for all of his other teammates on every single defensive play just for him being out there. You can make that argument that he does he does have an impact on every single play.
I think we can't say anybody because football, to me, is the consummate team sport. Like
you need so much.
Everyone needs somebody.
We've seen Peyton Manning play a game when his offensive line's not clicking and it's ugly. He doesn't look like Peyton Manning. He looks like Trent Dilfer. So,
or if his receivers are getting jammed up and he can't do it.
Outside of maybe a shutdown corner like a Patrick Peterson, who's just on an island every play.
No, but what I'm saying is even with that, the game is such a team.
Yeah,
We never can say that anyone is because, like Dev just said, in that playoff series when the Patriots were beating up the Colt receivers, Peyton Manning looked below average. Like he couldn't, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, it's like you need to depend on the receivers to catch the ball, your offensive, and that's why football is a beautiful sport. It is because it is the consummate team sport. It's not like basketball where you can just put one player in the team and they're going to the playoffs. It's not like that.
Football is complicated. You can't tell that to the average fan who just says the most simple.
It's a lot more complicated.
It's
complicated. There's a lot of dumb dudes playing it.
It's chess.
They have to be smart in a different aspect to play this game because it's more.
I definitely think there is some recency bias here with people thinking J.J. Watt is the best player in the league just because he's had a hot start.
Recency bias.
Recency bias. Yeah.
I gotta write that one down. Recency bias.
Yeah, write that down. Slow it down. I just dissed you. Anyway, I mean, I think in a league where Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning still play, I think Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the league to me. I mean, and it's not just because he's a quarterback. It's just because his ability in what he does. Just because he hasn't had the greatest start, I still think he's the best player in the league.
Rodgers does some unquarterbackly type stuff sometimes.
Right.
Some of those throws, he made a throw.
Write that down.
For me, I'm along the lines that a guy that can alter the game. I know at the end of a game, J.J. Watt is going to be disruptive, but are you going to want J.J. Watt to get you a stop, or you want Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, whoever, to win you a game?
Tom Brady in there.
Because if you think about it,
we ready to retire Tom Brady 2 weeks ago.
J.J. Watt gave Houston a chance to win that game on Thursday. He got the stop. You know what I'm saying? And Fitzpatrick came on the field and nut it up. They shouldn't have gotten that offensive chance. J.J. Watt got them that chance.
Yes.
I mean, look at it this way, Fred. You said that Teddy Bridgewater was going to have 35
I
yards.
didn't get any Teddy effing Bridgewater.
I saw Andrew Luck numbers in Teddy Bridgewater.
But here's the thing, though.
In his rookie year, and it didn't happen.
Even if he had that potential, he still wasn't drafted over at defensive end. Like, the game has changed. Like, defensive ends are important because of how pass-happy the offenses are.
Yes.
But he disrupts the running game. He disrupts the passing game. Like, he's playing tight end on some plays, too.
J.J. Watt is that all-around defensive lineman because he can play. He's so scheme versatile. And
he moves around.
We don't have to get into the technical aspects of it.
Hey, Jeff, he returned a kick this year for a touchdown. I'm all in. J.J. Watt. It's over. It's over. It's over.
All right, we said the Vince Carter joint, like, yo, it's over.
It's over. All right, so let's do our games of the week, man. Get out of here. Let's start with the Saints and the Lions. Lions got a very tough defense. I mean, you got people talking about we could be the greatest defense of all time. That's what wasted Nick Fairley. Frank, who you got?
I got the Lions. I don't think the Saints are very good, but I hate having this much faith in the Lions because they are still the Lions. But I got them.
Yeah, and for that reason, after the bye week, I say the Saints are going to get off the schneid. I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
Okay.
Fred, who you got?
I can't trust the Lions. I'm sorry. I don't trust Matthew Stafford. Me and Dev, we've had this conversation. I don't trust Matthew Stafford.
Jay Cutler or Matthew Stafford?
Matthew Stafford.
I don't trust Jay Cutler anymore either. But but you know who I do trust? I trust Sean Payton. I trust Drew Brees. I don't know if I trust Rob Ryan, but I do trust the tandem on offense to put up some points on that suspect secondary that is going to get torched.
Listen, man, let me say something.
Rob Ryan, I don't trust the guys playing for Rob Ryan.
So Fred, you're taking the Saints, right?
Yes, sir.
So and Frank, you took the Saints?
No, I took the Lions.
Okay, well, I'm on Frank's side. I'm taking the Lions because my man Nick Fairley said they have the greatest defense ever. Right? So Nick Fairley thinks they have the greatest defense ever. My man from Auburn. I'm taking the Lions. I want to see this defense shut down Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
That D line is about to get negated so bad.
All right, so let's go. Let's stay with you, Jim, and let's go Bengals Colts. This is a pretty intriguing matchup.
It is. I'm taking the Colts, and I'm gonna keep it honest. It's strictly because of Andrew Luck. Although me and Dev were talking last week about the Bengals and their team. They're a well-rounded team. Their quarterback doesn't get the credit he deserves, but at the end of the day,
underrated, man.
Yeah, he may be, but Andrew Luck is something else, yo. Like watching him play, and even watching him when he like struggled a little bit in the first couple of games, but watching him play, like I just feel like he's going to win every game. Like he's one of those players that I think they're going to be in every game, and they're going to have an opportunity to win every game if other guys make plays because he's going to do what he has to do. And they're playing in Indianapolis, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's
in India.
I'm definitely rolling with Andrew Luck. I'm taking the Colts in that game.
That's the same with me, Jim. And I had a philosophy like you have. When I think it's a toss-up game, most of the time I just go with the home team. So I think the Colts are going to win as well. Andrew Luck is amazing. Shout out to my fantasy team, and shout out to my last opponent, my man Wallace Wade. Shout out for not starting T.Y. Hilton. He would have beaten me by 36 points had he.
Yo, I don't even want to talk about fantasy. I lost by 1 point. I lost by 1 point. Well, I lost by 1 point.
I don't want to talk about my fantasy team.
Listen to this. When the guy was playing, he had Colin Kaepernick, and when Colin Kaepernick ran to get the first down in the fourth quarter with like 3 minutes left, I lost by 1 point.
Yo, Jim.
And even beyond that, I had Joe Flacco on my bench.
I was looking at the scores. Somebody posted their score on our War Room Sports Facebook page, and he plays in one of those leagues that do like they're not just whole points; they do fractional points.
Yeah.
But this dude lost his fantasy matchup by .06. Like,
that's gotta hurt.
That's fun. So what was that like?
That's trash.
Like after dude got the 10-yard threshold, what he got like an inch or something to get? Like how do you get .06? Like I don't know.
It's a sixth of a yard. It was a sixth of a yard.
Years ago, I lost by 1 point when Vernon Davis got knocked out of the game.
Yeah, that was a championship too. All right, but Fred, who you got? Bengals, Colts.
I don't trust the Bengals. I trust Andrew Luck. I always feel lucky when he's going out there.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was. No, seriously. I just don't. As much as
Jim,
Andy Dalton
that's
looks.
none of my business.
As much as Andy Dalton is a very underrated quarterback, I don't. Without AJ Green, he's not all that dynamic. And as good as Mohamed Sanu is,
without AJ,
I don't think it's that dynamic. But when you take away AJ Green, who's arguably one of the top 5 receivers in the league, anybody's going to look a little different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he didn't look bad at all last week without him.
Pretty good without him.
AJ Green touches the field.
I just trust the Colts a little bit more, and Andrew Luck is he's a surefire right now, and like you guys, I go with the home team if it's a toss-up at any point.
Frank?
I also want to shout out T.Y. Hilton. You were not enough to beat Cooper's Klux Klan for going 6-0, so we are 6-0 moving. I'm also going with the Colts because I take the home team, but it is possible that without Andrew Luck, the Colts may be the worst team in the league. Like if you took Andrew Luck off that team, they don't have a lot more than Andrew Luck.
Yeah, they have 0 depth.
Yo, between Peyton and Luck, they were 2-14. That's a spoiled franchise though to get those two guys.
No.
Before people complaining that Peyton is gone.
Hey, by the way, it's not just Peyton and Andrew Luck. Remember, they had John Elway before he said, "No, I'm not going."
Well, he said he wasn't going. So.
Hey, he was there. He was there for a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
here's the thing though. If you have John Elway, you probably don't get Peyton Manning.
This is true. Is true.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll stay with you, Frank. Chiefs versus the Chargers. Who you got?
Yo, the line on this game is like Chargers -4. It should be like 9.5. I got the Chargers in a blowout. I don't even think the Chiefs are going to be in it after halftime's over.
Now, where they playing at?
San Diego.
It's San Diego.
I actually think it's going to be competitive. I think they're going to give the Chargers a scare, but I do have the Chargers pulling it out at the end. Fred, who you got?
I have the Chargers on a blowout. I'm with you, Frank. Little mighty might, Brandon Oliver is going to just go run wild on these boys.
Hey, this is one of those teams. Y'all know how it gets when you start too much faith.
This rivalry is kind of weird.
But you know how it starts to play out when you start to have too much faith in the Chargers.
Yes, this is true. But I just do you really trust the Chiefs though offensively?
No, not at all.
I mean, outside of Dwayne Bowe, they have no one to throw to.
Alex Game Manager Smith.
Yo, Dwayne Bowe ain't anybody to throw to either, but
Dwayne Bowe.
They have an
was
okay
a
running
great-
game, but
Get off
Bro.
I gotta give a big shout out to Travis Kelce. I like what I see from him. Their tight end.
Yeah, he tough. Jimmy, who you got?
He's up and coming.
I'm going to take the Chargers, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all. I mean, this is a division game. Chiefs are coming off of a bye. You know how Andy Reid is off those bye weeks. But I'm still going to take the Chargers strictly because they're home.
Andy Reid is the best bye week coach of all time. I don't understand how he can do that, but he can't really make halftime adjustments in a playoff game.
Hey, when you get 2 weeks versus 20 minutes, that's a big difference.
Does that sound better or not?
Yeah, that's better. That's a good one right there.
You got a lot of time to think about it, whereas you got some crisis to deal with.
Might have had a Super Bowl by now if he's
And some butt-hurt players.
in 20 minutes. All right, Jimmy, let's stay there. Let's go Giants versus Cowboys. Big matchup in the NFC. Big
I
matchup.
watched the Cowboys play last week, and I watched the Giants play last week. So, with that being said,
Nothing else I can say right now.
man, first of all, man, get well soon. Rest in peace, Victor Cruz. Like, it's for real. But I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh,
For me, I actually have a feeling that the Giants might bounce back and get this one, but I just can't, in my right mind right now, pick them. See, I'm going to take a little, as an Eagles fan, I want my team to take a little credit for what happened the other day. I mean, maybe it was just us. The Giants might still be that nice, but, maybe they talk too much. Coughlin told them this week, enough of the talking. Let's just go out there and do what we got to do. So, I mean, we'll see. Odell Beckham is going to get his shot now since Victor Cruz is out. I think this is a divisional game, even though last week's game was a divisional game, but I think it's going to be a tough, grinded-out game. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, and this is mainly because they're at home, not because, they're a top 5 team in the NFL right now.
Listen, you never know. Best worst might come in there and throw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, best worst. Best worst. He was under pressure last week, so
Yeah, he
didn't
was.
get a chance to throw any. So go ahead, Fred. And if y'all don't know who best worst is, that's Eli.
Oh, yeah.
as much as I
Eli in the same drive can look like the best quarterback in the
Yes.
league.
Yeah.
And also the worst. Same drive. That's his nickname in the war. We call him best worst.
I want to take the Giants so bad in this because the Cowboys, they just have to hit that ceiling eventually. But
You're just tired of arguing with Cowboys fans. Keep it real.
I can't. I really just got a feeling the Cowboys are gonna hit that wall. But the way they're running the football right now,
Wait for this.
they're gonna steal one late.
Well, you know what though? Jerry Jones, I heard, is trying to send, messages down to the coach to say ease up on DeMarco Murray's load a little bit.
Well,
Last week, the other boys,
They still got Dillards in the back.
people got a lot of carries last week.
Yeah, so
there was a point in that I was gonna make earlier. When
he has
we first
53
opened
more
up.
carries than any other running back in the
If
league.
there was something about if he was a team, he'd be like the leading rushing team,
Yeah.
and he's on pace.
Look at his carries, though. He got just
That's what I
as many
say.
carries.
That's one of those misleading
And-
stats. If
Yeah,
you
that
have
and
the same amount of carries as teams, okay, if you're averaging the same amount of,
nobody runs the ball anymore, so that's kind of a irrelevant stat.
it's
but
it's impressive, but it's
the
a
more
little
telling
misleading at the
stat
same
is
time. It's not
probably-
amazing. He's getting
the more
ball
telling stat is probably going to be the fact that if he keeps up this pace and doesn't get injured like we think he will,
Yeah, that's more important.
he's going to be on pace for about 450 carries.
Yeah, that's
and every running back that does that, they fall off a cliff the next year. Larry Johnson.
Well, they're going for it now, so they probably don't care.
They don't care. Like
They don't care. They don't want to. At this point, they don't.
So they probably don't want them to.
After this season, they don't want him because they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay that man.
I'd give him 500 carries if I was them. Frank, you feeling confident this week? Because I actually need y'all to win, so you feeling confident?
Not feeling confident at all.
That means they're gonna win.
All that's exactly where I'm going with this. All logic says that the Cowboys should win. Like Jimmy said, if you watch the Cowboys play last week, you watch the Giants play last week, it's obvious that you should pick the Cowboys. But the NFC East just has this way of just being absolutely wacky, and all these games are just so weird, and you don't even know what the hell's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I just have a feeling. My history as a Giants fan says that they will win this game because once you're this low, they like come back. This was my whole fruition. Like I thought they were going to get crushed against the Eagles and then beat the Cowboys.
Last year when they got low, they ran off 5 straight.
Right. So, and everybody knows. I mean, anybody that knows me as a Giant fan, I am not a homer. I'm always pessimistic. I always think that the worst is going to happen, but I think they're going to pull it out for some reason this week. Defy all logic.
All right. Wait a minute. So who the hell did you just pick? We weren't really sure who you picked. Like,
Frank likes to do that so you can come back next week and say, I told you when he didn't pick anybody.
I almost had to go with the emotional hedge and pick the Cowboys, and then when the Giants, I could be right, but then when the Giants win, I could be happy, one of those things. But no, I got the Giants.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, and the last game of the week, for us at least, the 49ers versus Jimmy's Denver Broncos. So start back with you, Frank.
I think this is going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be low scoring, and I have the Broncos.
So Peyton not going to get the record this week?
I don't think Peyton's getting the record, no.
I mean, they set it up for him to do it on TV.
2 to tie, right?
He needs 2 to tie, 3 to break, and they set it up for him to play on Sunday night. This is all set up.
Yeah, I think he'll get it. I think he'll get it. I think he'll at least tie it. There's no way he doesn't get it.
He'll tie it. I don't think he's going to get it, though.
The Illuminati set it up. He's getting 3.
Julius Thomas is going to have like 90 touchdowns by the end of the season.
Yo, my man Julius Thomas said this is too easy against the Jets.
Julius Thomas wants to get paid. He wants to get paid.
I blame Jimmy Graham for his increase in production. He saw that Jimmy Graham contract and was like, well, that's what we doing now?
Yeah, but when they go, if they get inside the 10 or 5 or 10, he's getting the ball. It's like he's getting the ball.
Isn't it amazing watching football like on Sunday, right? And you have the ticket too, so you watch this and you watch the games, and they get in these like red zone situations, and somehow they still don't double the other team's best player. Like I watch it happen with Jordy Nelson. I watch it happen with Thomas. Like you know exactly what they're going to do on your couch, and it's like, why don't they just like what the hell is going on? I mean, you watch it week after week.
But yeah, like if I know this, why doesn't the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, it bothers me to know. Even like, specifically with the Saints as well. They put Jimmy Graham out wide, and he's one-on-one with like a little linebacker. They're going to throw the fade. They do it every time. Like, how do I know this?
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Broncos in this one. Fred, who you got?
Honestly, I don't trust the 49ers. They want to be cute and throw the ball.
I don't trust nobody.
Who do you trust?
Who do I trust?
Bill Belichick.
Outside of the home team and the mothership.
Fred's had his heart broken one too many times. You don't trust nobody.
I don't outside of the mothership. That is the other. I trust Peyton Manning. He's old, reliable. You know he's going to get you at least 2 to 3 touchdowns a game, and it's going to be nothing. I think he breaks the record. Honestly, Colin Kaepernick is going to probably be a little confused this week, and they throw the ball a little too much instead of running the ball. And Carlos Hyde, they're trying to give him more carries, and Frank Gore, they're taking away his carries. Good luck with that. Good luck with my problem with the 49ers.
Where did Frank Gore go to the college? Wait, where did Frank Gore go to college?
I wasn't even gonna say it. But
yes, you were.
No. Frank Gore has been their guy for the last 9 to 10y years.
Yeah, that's why they got to ease up the load because.
They need to lift up the load, but they also need to be. They have no identity at this point. If you actually watch a 49ers game, it's like they're trying so hard to make Colin Kaepernick this pocket passing quarterback or this dual threat, do-it-all quarterback. When in reality,
they need to be. Broncos. We get the point, man.
Give me the Broncos.
No more slander, man. I'll be very brief, man, because Fred was about to go on for another half hour. I'm taking the Broncos, and not because I'm a Broncos fan. I'm taking it because the Illuminati has set this up for Peyton Manning to break the record on Sunday night.
They're going to force it.
They're exactly going to force it. NBC's going to put the call on, like, what are you doing? It's all set up by the Illuminati. Demaryius Thomas is going to have 2. Julius Thomas is going to have 2, and there you go.
Yo, look for a lot of defensive penalties in the secondary for real talk for San Francisco, because that's going to move them closer to the red zone so Peyton can do his work. I mean, after he get his 3, then they might start calling the game correctly. But look for a lot of defensive penalties. Yeah.
So do we? So what do we
They
have?
don't want them to get the 3 too early, though. They want it to be the fourth quarter, final drive, looking for that third one to break the record.
No, they want to have
don't
it
need
by
the drama.
halftime so
They
they
don't
can
need
talk
the
about
drama.
it. So
Yeah.
Tony Dungy can give a blunk in the entire halftime show.
So are we saying it's a 21-3 type or 21-7 type of game at halftime, and something crazy happens at the end?
Well, I'm not saying that the Niners won't score as well, but I think Peyton's gonna get his 3. They're gonna force it somehow.
Do you trust Colin Kaepernick to keep
Talk
up with
about
Peyton Manning?
defensive secondary? Hell no. Defensive secondary penalties. The last thing we gotta get out of here. Yo, the automatic first down on these penalties, it's ruining football for me. It's ruining football for me.
Stop.
There's so many situations where teams are in like 3rd and 21, and you get a ticky-tack foul, and it's automatic first down. Like, how do you?
Welcome to the world of what fantasy football has done to sports. Because now,
Because on the
it has to
offensive
be
end, if you get an
offensive.
offensive pass interference, it's only going to be a certain amount of yards. So how does that work? Like,
Fantasy football has made professional sports
Listen, man,
turn it into an offensive game.
This
It's made
brilliant
for
writer,
offenses.
named Jimmy Williams wrote an article called PI equals BS. You can find it on warrumsports.com/blog. I wrote about this
Shameless
3-4 years
plug.
ago.
Shameless
I wrote
plug.
about this 3-4 years ago how pass interference is ruining football, and it is
now,
true.
every single one of those calls, automatic first down. Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, man, let's get the hell out of here. You guys, y'all know the deal. Check us out all throughout the week. You can hit me and Jimmy at warroomsports.com. Just go there, browse the site, click on stuff. You'll find different
Buy
things.
some shirts.
You can go to sports-kings.com to find Frank and the homies. Man, Frank, what are you guys doing over there? You got basketball, football.
Yeah, we're really gearing up. We're really gearing up for basketball season. We got all division previews going out. Andy Flint and I are drafting those top 30 players at every position. Power forwards are coming out tomorrow, probably today once you see this video. So check that out.
All right, sports-kings.com.
Who's number one?
Let them know where they can get in touch with you.
Blake Griffin.
Get that college football knowledge.
You got actually for me, you guys can reach me on Twitter at Purdue Sports, and I'm actually doing a little different venture. Collegefootballextra.com. It'll be up in a couple days.
All right, you can also catch them at warroomsports.com. Check them out on the War Room, live every Thursday, 6 to 8 at warroomsports.com. He gives his.
You can catch me on the feature page of Pornhub.
That's where you can catch the blueprint on Pornhub. Make sure you subscribe to the page, the YouTube page. Make sure you click like on the video. Leave your opinions in the comment section about the Cowboys, about J.J. Watt, and about our games of the week. Give us your picks. Like we always tell you guys, first of all, get that War Room Sports app, too. That's on iOS and Android. And like
Get
we
that mobile
always
app.
tell you dudes, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
See you chumps on top.
Yo, whoever didn't call Fred back, call him, man.
Stay out of the billards, Cowboys. Stay out of
Wait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.